Welcome to Talk Cosmos, the show where Sue Rose Minahan and her guests bring you insightful conversations to awaken heart and soul consciousness. Come journey with us exploring the meaningfulness of astrology's energetic cycles and get ready to understand your path in the cosmic roots of the stars.
Sue Rose Minahan, Talk Cosmos, and today is February 22nd, just after the subject of our conversation today, the conjunction, that means meeting together, of the outer planet Saturn and Neptune at the very start of the zodiac, 0 degrees Aries, actually 45 minutes in. Last time this really happened, calculated through software, was BC, 6,000 years ago. It's a big deal. Yet on conscious terms right now, we can condense that. It's a 36-year pattern, every 36 years that this occurs. So it's going to last with us. And all we know is it's in Aries, and that has a lot to do about life also. Today is special because I'm bringing in vibrational astrology. It's a new format, relatively speaking, but so intense and so age old because everything is vibration. And with it, I have, it's the same team that brings in the equinox and the solstice. So we'll get started.
Quarterly on the third week, an exhilarating Talk Cosmos program embraces the equinox and solstice. The insightful lens of vibrational astrology frequencies reveals the energetic themes for each 3-month season. These individual and collective messages, initiated by the equinox and solstice moments, are supported by spiritually inspired Sabian symbols aligned on a soul and spirit basis. Get ready for our vibrational astrologers as they share this season's wisdom.
I'm Sue Rose Minahan, founder of Talk Cosmos since 2018. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, consultant, speaker, writer, vibrational astrology student, Dwarf Planet University graduate, Kepler Astrology Toastmasters Club charter member. I have a fine arts music degree plus a certificate in jazz. I'm an artist, musician, and certified color energy life coach. Especially, I love mythology and esoteric philosophies.
I'm Robert Pacitti, professional consulting astrologer and the visionary behind Deep Earth Astrology and the Deep Earth Astrology Tarot, a divination tool and teaching aid that integrates astrology, herbalism, and natural reverence. I specialize in vibrational and psychological techniques and infuse my practice with a deep connection to nature's spirituality. I'm currently the Grand Pendragon in the Ancient Order of Druids in America and the director of the Magus Gathering in Gore, Virginia.
And I'm Linda Berry. I hold a professional astrology certificate in vibrational astrology from the Avalon School of Astrology, as well as a Master of Science in Social Work and bachelor degrees in psychology, mathematics, and computer programming. I teach vibrational astrology courses in the School of the Astrology of Vibrational Energetics online. I created Frequency Finder and add-on to Cosmic Patterns, Sirius, and Kepler software. Frequency Finder provides an in-depth astrological analysis of your astrology chart. As a vibrational astrology researcher, I moderate a vibrational astrology research group, am an international consultant, a published author, and the writer of a free daily blog, the Vibrational Astrology Diary.
As an ancient mathematician, Pythagoras' music of the spheres about vibrating stars and planets, the electrical engineer Nikola Tesla said, "If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." There we go.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Hi, Linda and Rob.
Hello.
Hey. Yeah, here we are. Well, folks, we'll have 2 sets of slides. Mine is just a brief orientation of where we're at, who we're doing. And this one is not the eclipse and So get ready for that. I mean, it is the eclipse, but I'm saying it's not.
You don't mean the
equinox.
eclipse, Sue.
Yeah.
You mean Saturn Neptune.
Thank you. Next week is the eclipse. I've been working on too many fields. That's right. But what I meant to say, it's not the equinox, which we will return in a month. So get prepared for that. Today which is Saturn Neptune, the vibrations. Vibrational astrology relates to the frequency vibrational patterns. They resonate. There's many, many techniques. If you're a student, and there's always introductory classes happening, Linda has 2, one in January and one coming up in June, and you'll discover more about it. It's quite involved. David Cochran started this. The two of them are still researching together and compiling unbelievable in-depth awareness and ways of managing it, which we will show today in many ways. There is software, which is the Sirius with cosmic patterns, and Frequency Finder, which is an add-on that without would be difficult. And Linda created that. There are a few simple definitions just to give you a little feedback about it. These are taught and they can be expanded on, but they're really root concepts that illuminate many further ways of understanding them. For instance, the sun and moon is really about time. One's current with the sun is happening right now, and the moon is past, it's reflecting, it's emotions, moods, all that stuff. And many of them are very similar. Mercury with mental connections. But let's jump down to Saturn, because that's our conversation for today. It evaluates, it determines what really doesn't matter. Let's get down to the bones of things, like people think, what's essential. And Neptune, conversely, is what makes life extraordinary. It's magnetic like Venus in a sense, yet it is what is over and beyond in the top. Now, that can be very mundane. It could be a concert for some, or maybe even a sports team. But in this case, combined, they have a unique ability to spread out into what's essential and what's extraordinary that makes life really perk. Spirit, thank you. It's that invisible matrix, that life force, however you want to look at it. It feels magical. Okay. Cardinal signs, they also all have some definitions. So let's just stick with Aries. It's new action. And what does Aries mean in close relationships? David Cochran has really many wonderful videos in his evidence-based astrology. And according to his analysis, a strong Aries is the ascendant, the moon, sun, and Venus as far as close relationships. But honesty is the name of the game. If it can't be honest, you don't know where somebody's coming from, and you yourself have to know. And this is important because these two planets are in Aries. And the way I look at it, and of course I'm maybe a little more broad with my expanding things, but we have many relationships, and it is time to look at the nitty-gritty of what has integrity, because and to see people for who they are, to get along. And otherwise, Aries isn't going to be that warrior we think about. It'll just plain leave. Like, why spend the time? You don't get me. I don't get you. This ain't happening. Okay. That's a nutshell that you can find out more. And I'll sign off with the idea that, as we had said, Nicola, everything is frequency. Everything is energy. We live in this world. I also have, well, we'll go back to this at the half break. Thanks. Okay, Linda, all yours.
Before we start, I think you really just nailed the head of the issue here. And Linda, you can back me up on this. I think this is really about bringing action to awareness. I mean, that seems to be a major theme throughout. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, that could be a way of looking at it. As usual, you and I come from different angles, Rob. The thing I think I'm most focused on is that this is a new birth. Mm-hmm. This is zero varies. This is the very beginning of the zodiac. This is the first burst out of spirit of a new awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturn, Neptune, 6,400 years ago, the human race was shifting from hunter-gatherer into moving into cities. We were changing our whole way of operating when Saturn, Neptune in zero Aries. Saturn, Neptune in zero Aries now. I think it's time for another change, folks.
It was also the beginning of the axial era, and
Yes.
and that was the time when congruently and all over the world in different regions we had the foundations of what spirituality and religion was going to be, and that has carried us up to now.
Yeah.
Yes, it is incredible. Listening to you both, it's like looking at a beautiful prism, and the day of the sun is just shining a little bit differently, and you're both illuminating this great vision of it, because I absolutely love this realization, because experiencing is what it's all going to be about. And Aries is very, it's still ruled by Mars. It's action oriented, but it'll be exciting to see how this awareness through these vibrations.
Now, I do have to say, Sue, that is modern astrology.
Oh,
In vibrational astrology, we do not connect the signs to planets.
Oh, interesting. Well,
okay. And that's okay. But there are truths in modern astrology as well. But how about we get into the slides?
Yay, let's do it. Thank you.
Okay. Can you bring them up, please?
Oh, I think you are. I think he did. I know.
Oh, there they are. They are there. Okay. It's just the same picture. I didn't realize.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Dreams, visions, ideals, fantasies, affecting our ability to perceive the true foundation of whatever we are attracted to. Challenge: to penetrate the layers of desire and deception, to see the fundamental truth, the core of the structure below the layers.
Penetrate desire. Wow.
Okay. Here is the chart for the exact time of the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And the only thing I wanted to point out on this chart is there are these 4 planets. Now, they are not all conjunct each other, but Moon, Saturn, and Neptune are conjunct. And Saturn, Neptune, and Mercury are conjunct. So it's kind of like flipping between Moon type awareness and Mercury type awareness, and maybe learning how to integrate them.
Do you think there's going to be a pull there between those two?
I think there's something or other. The fact that you've got 2 patterns right there at the core of the chart.
From the very beginning of time, they said that, well, in ancient, I know I've read that the moon was our thinking pattern. And this illustrates, because it's our emotional. How do we put it together?
I think this is 2 types of thinking patterns. The kind of relational feeling type pattern versus the more reasoning, logical type pattern. It's something along that line. I don't think that's exactly a good description of it, but
it works. It works.
Okay. So now, one of the things we know about the chart is that in addition to these patterns, this is the conjunction, square, sextile, trine, the standard ways we operate aspect the chart. Vibrational astrology says there are a lot of other relationships there. Mm-hmm. And I have picked 2 of the of them. One is 19, which is being the strongest action pattern in the zodiac each day right now at the time of this Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And what's interesting about this is 19 between Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, folks.
Let's hear what it means. Oh boy.
That's the outer planets. That's the stuff that comes that seems to work on us. Okay, here's 19. Taking inside the patterns we encounter in the world around us, evaluating those patterns, seeing what we feel needs to be shifted to make the patterns work better, and then sharing what we've learned with others. who work with us to express the pattern more effectively. That's 19. And when you think about those 4 outer planets, this is the part of us that feels like something's acting on us. This is a deeper force that oftentimes feels like it's not us, even though it's really coming from inside of us.
And
Go on.
I know that we don't really discuss, traditional modern astrology aspect patterns here with the finger of God pattern that we have here, with
yes. Well, that's part of
Pluto's.
vibrational astrology too.
Yeah, but it is a resonance between those two quincunxes, and
it's the moon and Mercury. Oh my God!
It's the moon and Mercury, and then again we get back to Pluto. I mean,
and transformation. Our obsession.
That's I hadn't caught that point. It's that compulsive. It's like the flip between moon and Mercury with Pluto in the middle.
Beautiful part about this is that if we're talking at least 36 years, we know that it's for the next.
It's 35 and something this time, but go ahead.
Well, okay, but close, yes.
Yeah.
Meaning that it's for this immediate, which is not so immediate. That's still like within over some of our lifetimes. Yeah, it is. And then again, it's a seed point for the next 6,400 years. But we can't think on those terms. But in other words, looking at patterns and diverting or digesting between this right brain, left brain, you could almost say, of how you feel about it, how you think about it, how it passed, how it's connecting. That's very powerful.
It is. I like that left brain, right brain thing, Sue. It's almost like this is saying you have to balance your left and right brain. Mm-hmm. And which is something we really need to learn how to do.
Well, we are in the process. I don't think it's an immediate thing. If that's what this is telling us, then it's telling us
36-year task.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not like we'll get it all done today, but at least it gives us a framework. Now,
a lot of opportunity for creativity. Just think about plenty.
Well, speaking of creativity, the strongest vibrational pattern in the natal chart is 100. This shows you in the natal chart, this shows you the planets that actually are creating a vibration 100 pattern. It comes from the sun. See, if you look at the sun and you look at Saturn and Neptune, because Saturn and Neptune are the same place here, folks. That's what happens when we have a conjunction. So you look at the sun to the Saturn-Neptune position, it is 2/25 or 8/100. And all of the rest of these are either hundreds or divisors of 100 that get pulled into 100 because of Mercury to Saturn, Neptune, and Sun to Venus, which are the ones that are totally in 100 and pull the rest of them in.
Let's expand the 100. I know that on a vibrational energy, but how does that interpret? Which you have here.
25 times 4.
Right.
25 is being in a community, an open, exploring community that's creative. And when you have 25 times 4, you use the things you find in that community to change the world.
This is really where I, looking at this chart, where I kind of came up with that concept of putting action to awareness, because I think this is where we're really going to see that come into play. I mean, when we're talking about 25, especially, I mean, there is a big concept of creative, collective, organic awareness to that. And then you put that 4 there, and it's just, something needs to happen with it. It
totally interactive.
Sit in the ether.
This is okay. So now, folks, I couldn't do this everywhere, but for this one, I had to. I figured the structures in space, sign relationship pattern,
and that's vibrational astrology talk, folks. But yes, go ahead
for this conjunction, and just know it's a way. I can't explain that in the 2 minutes I've got here. But this is a way how you can deal with this energy most effectively. And what it was mutable, folks.
I love
Can
this.
you believe it?
I love it because
Which means we need to be prepared to shift how we operate in the world into this Saturn Neptune conjunction is calling for us to shift to a new mode of operation that is radically different from how we have previously operated.
meaning too, it's incremental. For me, being a very mutable person, though I have quite a bit of fixed, it is, I think of it as juggling. But in that juggle phase, it's just like adding extra spices to a food. Maybe you like a little bit this, a little bit that, but and reinventing and rediscovery. It's really, the process is so valuable. Maybe not always easy for fixed persons. Cardinal, I think, have some ability that they find action, but mutable is action in one way. I see it. It's really
mutable
energy.
Is shifting. Remember, mutable is a sign that is the energy that changes you from winter to spring, from spring to summer, from summer to fall. Mutable is about changing your state of operation.
Yeah, perspective.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay. We got one more thing we can at least start before the break, I think, here.
Yeah, we have about...
One of the things that we've done in vibrational astrology is we've started investigating across vibrations to find where a planet in one vibration is tightly, I mean really tightly, seconds from a planet in another vibration. And I couldn't resist looking up what the strongest pattern is in the Saturn Neptune conjunction. And would you believe it's the same two planets in my chart? But it is Saturn and Pluto.
Whoa!
Not surprised.
That's serious.
Wait! I'm sorry. We got to go someplace else first.
That's fine.
This is the strongest vibration in the chart. This
Very
is
important.
151 is when you just score things by the scoring technique we're using right now. But this is very, very strong under any circumstances. Mm-hmm. This is an amazing pattern. And a three-dimensional mystical rectangle. Mm-hmm. Look at all this. Two planets here, three here. Now, the only thing that happens here is the Uranus and the Jupiter are not aspecting each other in the aspects we're using.
But looking just at what it means, Linda, here, that's what's really valuable, because people can learn that details. And that is that if we're looking at patterns, which we are, and it's very personal in a sense, because I know it has a lot of that 531 in, interpreting this, that we are seeing through these patterns our own concept of how the world ought to be. Now, look, this is not the first time in history that kind of strong, that creates dynamic change. I mean, whether we look back at any revolutionary or civil war, or even the time of Christianity to Judaism, I mean, all these religious, everything back in time, people have their personal ways of focus.
Right. Rob?
I mean, it's, for me, this just reads, this is all about how the personal experience fits into the collective experience. And, anytime we're talking about vibrational astrology, we're talking about circuits and we're talking about resonances. And and a lot of times with when we have these big aspect patterns, especially something like a mystic rectangle, there's going to be a lot of crossover in those planets and how that's going to operate, which creates a really holistic sense of urgency. That manifests. And again, how do we as individuals navigate our own lives while connecting to the collective right now?
Right. And this is saying that you use your internal awareness to guide you as you explore new ways your world can operate, trying different patterns, as you form a deeper understanding within yourself of what needs to happen.
That's thank you.
151. Now, there are 2 6-planet patterns in it. This is the first one. And the planet that changes is Jupiter changes to Uranus in the second one. All the rest is the same.
So it's expansive and it's immediate, happening right now with
And
Uranus.
those are the emphasis. So a compelling fundamental vision of people directly involved, Venus, Mars, in balancing step-by-step expansion, expressing beauty, and being free to take big actions.
Ooh.
Now, that's the first one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob.
It screams to me that there's a yearning here. You know, when we're talking about that Jupiter and Uranus, juxtaposition here, it's like that need to expand, that need to get bigger, but there's also that kind of impatience with the Uranus. Like how come I can't figure this out now? How do I do this now? Oh, there you go.
Yeah. And the Uranus brings an emphasis, all the stuff from above except the expansion. But the Uranus brings an emphasis on free expression based on what you have formed as your own concept of how there's supposed to be life, how life operates. Isn't that amazing?
It is, especially with the moon and Moon and Mercury.
Yeah.
For my friends that watch a lot of shows, there was a pretty famous show called Game of Thrones out, and one of the famous quotes from that is that chaos is a ladder sometimes.
Well, keep that for what's coming.
Yeah, there you go.
The stadium symbols are about going through chaos to something new.
Do you want to show? We can have one peek before we cut away. Go ahead, Linda.
No, I'm not going to give a peek on it.
Okay, then we'll just use more time later. And then shall we come back? Shall we go away?
Let's take our break right now.
Folks,
and do this
stay tuned. Get what you need to drink. Stay locked in. We'll see you in just a moment with Linda Berry and Rob Pacitti. Talk Cosmos today about the Saturn Neptune conjunction. See ya.
While we take a break from this week's edition of Talk Cosmos, let's take a look at this cycle's archetype. We are currently in the yin period of Pisces, ruled modernly by Neptune and by Jupiter in traditional astrology of the ancients. By leaving a cycle based on the equality of all humans and brilliancy, Pisces concludes the 12 signs that energetically encompass the entirety of the universe, where humans have no control. As a mutable water sign represented by two fish swimming in opposite directions of the forces of life, we experience in Pisces the collective unconscious energy of the unknown. Intuitive, psychic Pisces completes the seed cycle, initiated with Aries' willful separation from the Piscean womb.
This is psychological astrologer Dr. Laura Todd. Please join me and Michelle Fleming March 14th through the 21st for Evolutionary Training's annual Goddess Awakening Retreat in Playa El Coco, Nicaragua. Enjoy daily yoga, well-being workshops, baby sea turtles, and more. To register, go to mythicsky.com.
Talk Cosmos ignites insightful conversations to awaken heart and soul consciousness with hour-long programs every Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific on KKNW. Also available to watch live on the Talk Cosmos YouTube channel and Facebook page. While you're there, make sure you click their like and subscribe buttons so you get the full Talk Cosmos experience. You can listen to earlier podcasts since 2018, either on most podcast carriers or under the video tab on Talk Cosmos YouTube. To join our expedition and find out about upcoming programs, sign up for the newsletter at talkcosmos.com and launch your week into the cosmic wonder.
This is Martha Norwalk. Every Sunday morning, beginning at 9 a.m., thanks in part to NewProSupplements.com, we cover the world of animals. This week, it's Shelter Rescue Sanctuary and anything that helps our animal friends Sunday. We'll check in with Meow Cat Rescue, Help Animals India, and Beth and Merritt Clifton from Animals24-7.org. Plus, we'll find out about all the great classes and events coming up at the Ananda Institute of Living Yoga. Hope you can join us. Martha Norwalk's Animal World, Sunday morning, 9 a.m. to noon, right here on Alternative Talk, AM 1150.
Wherever you go, Alternative Talk 1150 is here for you.
Okay, we are back again. Linda Berry can be found at Astrological Depth. That's DEPTH.com. No, at Astro Sleuth. Pardon
No,
me.
no. The email is Linda at astrologicaldepth.com. This is the website, astrosleuth.org.
Yes. Okay. And we didn't put down the email. That's very true. Okay. Good point. And Rob Pacitti is Deep Earth Astrology, and he's also with a Magis Gathering and Deep Earth Astrology at gmail.com. And myself is Talk Cosmos. And of course, the conference that's coming up in the fall, I believe, is fractalcosmos.org. And we'll have more material about that probably with the equinox. Meanwhile, Linda's school, and right here it has some progressively that information will show up. It's a School of Astrology and Vibrational Energetics, always begins in January and June, the beginning of introduction. But there is a 3-year course if you're so involved.
But you don't have to take the whole 3 years to learn a whole lot.
But some of us get pretty committed, don't we, Rob? We're like, yes, we're in. Okay. And so and you can contact her at, but here it is, Linda at Astrological Depth, because Linda provides a free daily astrological diary giving a lot of great information. It's also on Facebook. There's different ways to connect. Just email Linda. She's very responsive and will help you. But if you're interested in a deeper dive, Sabian Reports has a small monthly contribution.
They have a small monthly charge because they're individualized, and it takes more work to give you a report that is unique to your chart.
And it's very helpful. This one, in fact, includes bonus ones such as the eclipses or else particular
the
patterns.
Saturn Neptune came out this month.
Right. Now, Fractal Cosmos was the first last year, and it will be this year. And I know Rob is the chair of helping with all of that, and I'm sure for March we'll have information.
Yes, we've got some dates. You know, we're putting some stuff together now. We'll have a lot more concrete information with a website update by the equinox.
Yes. So tell us about Deep Earth, would you?
Yeah. Deep Earth Astrology. I mean, my background is in nature spirituality. I come from the Druidry tradition. You know, I'm also on the faculty at the Center for Relationships and Astrology with Margaret Gray. You know, I do have a tarot deck coming out. We finally have the release. It's going to be coming out at UAC. And you'll be able to find both myself and Linda there. We got a table. So we're going to be just outside the bookstore. So if you want to come and introduce yourself, I'm sure Linda would be open to doing some vibrational astrology readings.
I'm going to offer some reasonably priced readings in vibrational astrology during the conference.
Oh, great. Well, we'll start getting slides for that come spring equinox. Yeah. We'll do that for sure. And also, I'm sure you can pre-order your tarot deck, I would imagine.
Well, what we're going to do is I want the astrologers to get it first. So what's going to happen is we're going to sell them the first lot goes out at UAC. And then as soon as I get back from UAC, we're going to just put them online for them to purchase.
All righty. Good things happen. Well, for Talk Cosmos, it's every week. And a couple of highlights would be the Capricorn Venus star point, which is at 16 degrees Capricorn. It's going to stay there as the main head of the star. Important to keep in your horoscopes. And then, of course, different information about the things happening, which has been the solar eclipse that we're right in between the solar and the lunar eclipse coming up next week. And, of course, it's Saturn Neptune Aries awakening. So tune into that. You can. And that will finish what I am going to say. And back to the Linda's great material.
All right. So this is what we started talking about a few minutes ago. Saturn in vibration 290 and Pluto in vibration 274. We may come back to this. This lets you see, oh dear.
What was that meaning? If you could go, yes, compulsively.
Okay. What I did here is I gave the definition of Saturn in 290 and of Pluto in 274. And what you need to realize is they're combining together, the two of them. So Saturn in 290 is about becoming immersed in a new way of understanding how you can live life.
Ooh.
Experimenting and shifting until you find better access to what is truly important.
That's that mutable.
Isn't well, yeah, that was.
I mean, it supports it. That's all.
Mutable,
I'm not just saying.
Anyway, that other was okay. Then Pluto in 274 is about making changes in the community in response to what is happening in the lives of the people. Together, you have a compulsion to make changes in the community in response to what is this is just another way of saying it. To the 137 and the Pluto, that makes a compulsion to make changes in the community in response to what is happening in people's lives. So you've got a new way of understanding how you can live life combined with making changes in response to what's happening to people.
It's supporting the entire
God. Now there's an amazing thing that happens with these interweavings. And by the way, I proved this mathematically. This always happens. This was 274 and 290, and just take my word for it, halfway through is 282. It's the average of 274 and 290 if you want to check it out.
That's all right.
In 282, the Saturn and Pluto, the two planets that are doing the trip here, the Saturn and Pluto in 282, one of them's interacting with the midpoint of Saturn and Pluto in 290, and the other one's interacting with the midpoint of Saturn and Pluto in 274. There's this linkage, which makes, without going into that anymore, which makes 282 a fundamental focus to understand what this Saturn-Pluto conjunction is about. 282 is 47 times 6. Moving beyond the social structure into the aspects of people's lives that are personal and usually hidden from our social level of operation. Does that get it pretty well, Rob?
That's a deep one.
Yeah, I've done a lot of research on.
I know Rob did the recent research on 47, so that's why I wanted to double check that with him.
This is a bold energy. This is an energy that is fearless. This is an energy that feels righteous. It's also an energy that brings awareness. We keep coming back to that word, bringing awareness.
Yeah.
And with 6, I mean, smooth flow with others. I mean,
six is about finding people you have things in common with.
So important.
So go ahead, Rob. I didn't mean.
No, I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, it's like we're in this space of righteous, bold awareness of the things that are hidden, that need to be brought to the surface, and we're looking for others that we can connect to make this happen. And that just, and when we're talking, look at the top of the slide, Saturn and Pluto in Vibe 282. I mean, Saturn and Pluto, I mean, that is a compulsive getting to the source of things,
the bone.
Go ahead.
What is really essential. And I love this because it can merge with what people think about traditional astrology, but despite all that, because just looking at it psychologically, if I have a problem in life, unless I look at what is hidden and out of view and bring focus to it and realize what's really paramount with it, it ain't going, and pardon me if I say ain't, but it doesn't go anywhere. It needs to have that penetrating light. And this seems to go on and on. Like I remember in the very beginning, you said about with 19 earlier about diving into or penetrating below our desires, because sometimes we can evade and it takes time to be true with
another aspect of 47 when we study the extreme case sampling is that there is almost an ability to put yourself aside to care more about the message. You may be able to kind of, put some of your own, not necessarily needs, but desires aside to make sure that the awareness is coming.
Well, the thing with Saturn Neptune is that Saturn is about what lasts a long time, what's fundamental the core foundational structure, and Pluto is about compulsively digging down to get it. And we sometimes call this the austerity aspect or the severity aspect, because it finds that deep core and it says nothing else is important. It throws all the rest away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is really, really strong. Now, here's the thing is I could not resist, because this is a distinctive point. It's actually 8 of Scorpio, 20 minutes is where these two are conjunct, and in the Saturn Neptune pattern. And so I'm going to real quickly go through the Sabian symbols for it, because it's really, the Sabian symbol for this is really significant. It's about the aim is for one to gain secret knowledge from what one is reading or studying. You'll be able to see the whole thing here when you go back over the recording. And in order to do that, you need the forest fire quenched. You need to use an overpowering compassion for the struggles of all life that will enable you to quench the rage and destruction within you, which could otherwise be out of control. In order to drill dental work, how do you like that one? Drilling out deep decay, filling in the holes, replacing missing parts, returning your structure to its proper functional form, and learning how you can continue to keep it in good shape. Now, I want to remind everybody, this is not, the Sabian symbols are not vibrational astrology.
No, but it's meaningfulness, and that's where it adds that layer.
It does add a layer that we find helpful,
and you have a real
not vibrational astrology
gift for that, so we appreciate it.
Okay, the last part, the Sabian symbols for the whole Saturn-Neptune conjunction itself. 0 of Aries in 45 minutes. And again, I'm going to start with the spirit, because I've found that this makes more sense if you start from the spirit and move down to manifestation.
Oh, goody.
Okay, this is the first symbol. I got pictures, folks. And we're going to get pictures for more of them. This is a Bolshevik revolution. That's tearing down the status quo, bringing a more chaotic, undifferentiated state that is fertile ground for change, or reactively trying to hold on to an old crumbling pattern of operation because you fear change and instability.
It's just like that earthquake going moving along.
This is what the aim of the Saturn-Neptune conjunction is, folks. Here is changing old symbols into new symbols.
Boy, isn't that nice? I love that.
This is the soul level. A man teaching new forms for old symbols. You have to, in order to tear things down and build something new, you have to learn how to reshape old symbols into new forms that will enable you to reach the next level of understanding and teach this to others. Otherwise, you're holding on to and teaching twisted and distorted understandings blinded by your biases and illusions.
It's creative. It's definitely, it just is.
Yeah. And here is 0 of Aries, folks. Yeah. The rising up out of the primordial ocean, becoming something new, or failing here. The other way. Failing to make the transition to the universal and sinking back, the transition into individuality and sinking back into the universal pattern.
Yeah, it's probably a toggle. You go through all that.
Right. A woman rises out of water. A seal rises and embraces her. You are opening. This is what this Saturn-Neptune conjunction is. You are opening up to the initial tentative pulse of creative energy within you, feeling it on a primal level of awareness, embracing it, allowing to rise up in a flow within you, or you're failing to open to this tentative pulse of creation that you feel within you because of a lack of commitment or insecurity or fearfulness or whatever. Okay, so I'll do these quickly. Then we'll want to talk about this. Looks like we have a few minutes to talk. I combine them together into kind of a paragraph this time. In order to tear down the status quo, bringing a more chaotic, undifferentiated state that is a fertile ground for change, you need to be open to reshaping old symbols into new forms that will enable you to reach the next level of understanding and teach this to others. This will enable you to open up to the initial tentative pulse of creative energy within you, feeling it on a primal level of awareness, embracing it, and allowing it to rise up in a flow within you. Do you want me to do the other side of this before we start talking? Maybe I better.
Yeah.
Pitfalls. If you reactively try to hold on to an old crumbling pattern of operation, fearing change and instability, you will be holding on to and teaching twisted and distorted understandings, being blinded by your biases and illusions. Then you will fail to open up to the tentative pulse of creation that you feel within you, either from a lack of commitment or being too fearful or insecure. There it is, folks.
The new patterns are not congruent with the old teachings. And, we keep talking about this. That 0 degrees Aries is a portal. It's a gate. And you have to actively step through it, or it's just going to disintegrate behind you. If you are not willing to take the action to take that step into the new whatever you want, the new universal truth or the new universal understanding, the collective consciousness, it's just going to keep kind of crumbling down behind you. Whereas if you are able to move through, if you are able to take the step, there is going to be a world of symbols for you to attach to create your new vision for your life and how you fit into the collective.
To me also, it's such a learning experience, because I'm thinking it isn't like abracadabra, here I go and it's all hunky-dory or whatever. It has that moment, because if it's mutable and it is also this learning, this new experience that we're all embarking on for 36 years at least, it is where you touch into it, and then the awareness, as we've been talking over and over again, and through the interaction with other people in your own little group, the larger or the bigger groups that seem to be so apparent and strong, that one becomes aware of where they have that insight of where maybe they've been attached to old ways, because it's sneaky. You can think, oh, you're being bold and going ahead, and then these other parts kind of catch up, but it's a process incrementally. But life wants to keep changing. It's evolution. It's never. Mm-hmm.
The thing that will help to throw some light on this is, folks, this is conception. This is not birth. Mm-hmm. In the Sabian symbols, as I've worked with the patterns, the whole sign of Aries is a process of pregnancy.
Oh, goody.
With the last degree of Aries being birth. This is 0 of Aries. This is conception. This is where the seed gets fertilized or it doesn't. Mm-hmm. But if it gets fertilized, it's got to grow to something that can be born. So this is, and there's a whole series of challenges involved in getting from the point of conception to the point where spirit walks on earth.
Well, that's why that inspires me to realize how important the soil is. Is also part of remembering in this conversation with different points that how we're new and the compassion. I love that too, just as a
Well, I think when we get back to the fundamentals of vibrational astrology and we're talking about the unification or the conjunction of Saturn and Neptune, we're talking about a spiritual seeker. And and in Aries, especially, where it does not want to complicate itself with anything other than the truth. I mean, this is a time when regardless of the soil, we kind of have to kind of push forward and step through. in the collective right now, there's been this kind of holding pattern. It's like, will this time pass us? Will it return back to the same? No.
Well, we hope it doesn't, because
We've
that
launched.
old world, the world that was, is dissolving, folks.
Oh yeah.
When you go through 0 of Aries, what was before is dissolving. Think about winter becoming spring. That's what we're talking about.
There is courage in the first crocus that pops up out of the snow,
And strength in that,
and courage,
to lift up out.
And we're going to start seeing those crocuses pop up, and hopefully they are the beauty that moves us forward to get us to step through that point.
Just remember, this is good news, folks.
It is.
We are about to discover a whole new level of awareness. Mm-hmm. Think about hunter-gatherer, humanity as hunter-gatherers, learning how to live in a city and form relationships, and all the things that had to happen as we formed larger structured organizations. Now think about what it means. We don't even know what its shape will be yet, to move beyond that.
That's right. It is. And living in the moment now, which so much of this energy seems to also bring up with Uranus, that only is concerned at the not past or present, but right now. Being in the present is ultimately, I think, the one thing strangely from the past that can empower us, because at that time, people had to live in the present much more. I think that's what a lot of the strength of their awareness, through the axle age, such as you brought in, of consciousness, and they weren't diverted or distracted by sirens and lights and whatever else. They were able to just penetrate down to
one message that I've been communicating to my clients, because there's a lot of people in some form of crisis right now in how they fit into the collective, is that these things were going on regardless of whether you knew about them or not. This is that awareness. It's like, do you want to pretend like these things don't exist, or that they weren't happening, or that it didn't need the rebirth? And that's actually been a pretty powerful mantra for some people. It's like, you can become that kind of that Aries spirit now, and kind of just, I am only concerned with the truth. I am not concerned with the falsities of the past. I am only concerned with the truth.
Making it a turning point in your life, because we are at a turning point, and you can find meaningfulness and through that curiosity, be creative and successful in some dynamic stepping stone in your life. Linda, you have that was great input, by the way.
There have been so many signs in the last 10 to 15 years that something fundamental is changing. And this Saturn Neptune conjunction is kind of like the point. And something to remember, we felt this all last year, from about March on. This change, the chaos, the difficulty in last year was part of this Saturn Neptune conjunction. It didn't quite get exact last year.
Yeah, just
it's exact now. We will feel it all of this year. So this is an expanded process here that we are in the middle of.
Yeah, and we're still going to continue to see the resonance of the mid-grand trine between the outer planets all the way up through 2030. So this is just this is a step in a process of
a new awakening,
of outer planet resonance that is going to continue to evolve and manipulate. It's almost like a puzzle box, where things need to kind of click before it's fully released. And this is a big one, but this is part of that grand process.
It's like the whole, as they say, the weather. Like, what planet are you on? Well, we're on this planet conjunction in a sense, and there's going to be a lot of other creativity within that, but you can find meaningfulness in life, new meaningfulness. And these are strong clues how to operate with those that are close and that internal awareness. Thank you, Linda.
It's the time
Barry.
of the spiritual seeker.
Yay!
It's a
Rob
time of
Pacitti.
the spiritual seeker. But one thing to remember is the balance on the spiritual seeker is being caught in deception, fantasy, and betrayal.
So be truthful.
Have to penetrate that. To get
Honesty,
to the depths.
name of the game. Be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you. And may all of you have a great 36 years.
Yes.
Thank you for joining this vibrant and insightful conversation on Talk Cosmos, the show where Sue Rose Minahan and her guests awaken consciousness by connecting heart and soul consciousness patterns with astrology's energetic cycles. Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same place, to continue your journey through the roots of the cosmic pathway.